The reward of honesty. In a small town, surrounded by rolling hills and quiet streams, there lived a young man named Daniel. He was 20, the son of a humble carpenter. Daniel was known for being quiet and hardworking, often helping his father in the workshop, polishing wood, carrying planks, or delivering finished furniture to neighbors. Life was simple, but it wasn't easy. His family barely managed to cover their daily needs. Yet, what made Daniel stand out was not his poverty, but his character. He valued honesty above all things. One summer morning, Daniel woke up before dawn. His father was unwell, so Daniel had to deliver a table they had made for a wealthy merchant across town. He carefully loaded the table onto a cart and began his walk. The sun had just begun to rise, painting the sky with orange and pink hues. Birds sang, and the air was cool. On the way, Daniel felt a deep sense of responsibility. His family's livelihood depended on completing this order. As he walked, something caught his eye. Near the path, half hidden by grass, lay a leather pouch. Curious, he bent down, picked it up, and opened it. His eyes widened. Inside was a stack of gold coins, more than he had ever seen in his life. His heart pounded. With that money, he could buy new tools for his father, pay their debts, and never worry about hunger again. For a moment, temptation whispered in his ear. No one saw you pick it up. If you keep it, no one will know. He imagined the relief on his mother's face if he handed her the coins. But then, another thought struck him. What if the person who lost this is desperately searching for it? What if this money is needed to feed someone's children? Daniel stood there, torn between desire and duty. Finally, he closed the pouch firmly and said aloud, "This is not mine. I cannot keep it." With that, he placed the pouch safely inside his cart and continued his journey. When he reached the merchant's grand house, Daniel delivered the table. The merchant inspected it, nodded in approval, and handed Daniel a few silver coins. It wasn't much, but Daniel was grateful. Then Daniel remembered the pouch. He turned to the merchant and asked, "Sir, do you know if anyone in town has lost something valuable? I found this on the road." The merchant looked surprised. "What is it?" Daniel handed him the pouch. The merchant opened it, and his eyes widened. "These are Lord Harrington's coins. He must have dropped them on his way to the council hall yesterday." Lord Harrington was the wealthiest and most powerful man in the town. Losing such an amount could have caused him great trouble. The merchant said, "You must take this to him at once. Few would return such treasure." Daniel agreed and hurried to the council hall. Inside, he found Lord Harrington, a tall man with stern eyes, speaking with other officials. Nervously, Daniel stepped forward and bowed. "My lord, I believe I found something of yours." He held out the pouch. Harrington's eyes sharpened as he took it. He opened the pouch, counted the coins, and let out a deep sigh of relief. "By heavens, I thought these were lost forever. Young man, where did you find them?" Daniel explained honestly how he had come across the pouch on the road and how he could not keep what was not his. Harrington studied him carefully, as if measuring the truth in his eyes. After a long pause, the Lord said, "Do you realize, boy, that with this gold you could have lived comfortably for years? And yet you chose to return it." Daniel bowed his head. "My lord, my father always taught me that honesty is worth more than gold. I could not betray his teachings, or my own heart." The hall grew quiet. Even the officials whispered to one another, impressed by his words. Harrington, moved by the young man's integrity, stood and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Honesty such as yours is rare. You deserve a reward." Daniel quickly shook his head. "Please, my lord, I do not seek reward. I only wished to return what was rightfully yours. But Harrington insisted. A man who values truth above wealth is worth more than all the gold in this pouch. You must allow me. The Lord invited Daniel to his estate later that week. When Daniel arrived, nervous and humble, Harrington welcomed him warmly. He offered Daniel not gold, but something greater, a position as his personal steward's assistant. The job promised steady wages, respect, and opportunities Daniel could never have imagined. Over the months that followed, Daniel worked with dedication and honesty. His straightforward nature won the trust of the entire household. He managed accounts with care, ensured fairness among workers, and often reminded others to act truthfully. Slowly, his reputation spread through town. People began to say, "If Daniel speaks, you can trust his word as much as law." Years passed, and Daniel grew into a man of wisdom and integrity. He never became wealthy in the way of riches, but he became rich in something far greater: trust, respect, and peace of mind. Lord Harrington often said to his council, "This young man's honesty once saved me from ruin. Let him be an example to us all." And so, the pouch of gold that once tempted Daniel became the turning point of his life. It was not the coins he gained, but the doors that honesty opened for him. The story of Daniel reminds us of a simple truth. Honesty may not always bring instant wealth, but it brings rewards that last a lifetime. Trust, respect, and peace of heart are treasures no gold can buy.